What is going on, everybody? I am the FDGURU, bringing to you guys a Week 5 NFL video covering the main slate for Sunday. As usual, I am doing a free Guru credit code in this video, covering one play for each position using FanDuel salaries. And we see a bit of a lighter main slate on Sunday now that we're getting into bye weeks for teams. We have 4 teams with a bye week this week: the Lions, the Chargers, the Eagles, and the Titans. So we have 6 games in that early window at 1 o'clock Eastern, 4 games in the afternoon window, and then as FanDuel has done this year, that Sunday night football game between the Cowboys and Steelers, which I'm not all that interested in for the main slate. There is one player I will mention later on, but like I said, I'm doing a free Guru credit code in this video. Give this video a like, subscribe, and I'll give you that code after the first couple of my plays. This slate's looking really good. Obviously, we have some Q tags, but we'll know more information throughout the weekend. Going into quarterback, we do have our expensive guys. They're in good spots. If you have the money, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you shouldn't play them. Josh Allen against the Texans is, always going to be a good play, even though he is 9,300. Lamar Jackson, Baltimore and Cincinnati, has the highest over-under on the slate for Sunday, the only game with a 50 over-under. So obviously Lamar is going to look pretty good, as the Bengals defense has looked pretty bad. And then Jaden Daniels has proved that he belongs up here at $8,700 against the Browns. Don't love it, but he's been really good. My value play for this video is Geno Smith, only $7,400, a great matchup against the Giants. He's at home. He's been airing the ball out to start the season, averaging 295 yards per game. Outside of week 1, he has looked fantastic. 327 yards, 289, and 395. This matchup against the Giants looks really good, not only on paper, but alongside his FanDuel salary at $7,400. Looks like the best value play on FanDuel for the main slate. The Seahawks are, I don't know why they're not showing up on here. Oh, here they are. -6 at home, 43.5 over under. So they're, expected to score a decent amount of points here. And I do think Geno's a really good play at this price. I really think he should be around $8K for what he's been doing. So $7,400 looks good on Geno. If you wanted to go even cheaper, I was looking at Deshaun Watson earlier, $6,900. This is a pretty good spot against this Commanders defense. Do I trust Deshaun Watson? Absolutely not, but he could have a big day on Sunday because they're expected to be behind, obviously, 3.5-point underdogs, and it is a pretty hefty 44 over-under. And this Commanders defense hasn't really scared me throughout the season so far. I do think it's worth a shot in a GPP to be looking at Deshaun Watson at only $6,900. For running back, I'm going to just pick an expensive guy for this video because I'm not sure how things are going to pan out yet, because we're still waiting on injury news, and that could change things. Obviously, a big deal is Jonathan Taylor missing practice so far this week. If he's out, a huge value play is going to be Trey Sermon at only $5,900. He would be expected to step into the RB1 spot. We'll have to see how things develop, though. That one player from the Sunday Night Football game earlier I alluded to that I would mention is Najee Harris. Only $6,500. Couldn't really get anything going on the ground against the Colts, but had a huge catch in the fourth quarter. He'll be heavily used again if they are without Jaylen Warren and or Cordero Patterson. Patterson had a great first half covering Jaylen Warren's spot on Sunday last week, and he hurt his ankle, and he was out the second half. If one of Warren and Patterson are out, I'm going to be looking at Najee Harris, and if both are out, it'll make Najee Harris look that much better at only $6,500. So something to consider. That game is a night game. I don't know if we'll get that news with Warren or Patterson, but we usually, by NFL Sunday, have a good idea whether a player is going to play or not. The NFL is nothing like the NBA on the injury reports. They are very detailed, and they release information very, very early in the day. But in terms of the play for this video, if you can spend up, if you're going down at like Geno Smith or Deshaun Watson at quarterback, I say go to Derrick Henry. $9,200. I know we're paying a premium, but as good as Derrick Henry has been his whole career, he might be on pace for a career season. That game against Buffalo was ridiculous. That first run, outrunning the entire defense. I saw a thing today where he only ran... Xavier Worthy had like a 60-yard touchdown catch on Sunday as well, and he ran like a 4.2 40. Derrick Henry on that rush ran like 0.15 seconds slower than Xavier Worthy did on his long touchdown pass. It is ridiculous how fast Derrick Henry is for how big he is. Been absolutely crushing. The last 2 games, he has 350 rushing yards. Absurd stuff. He has a total of 6 touchdowns, 5 on the ground, 1 through the air. This Bengals defense, 23rd against the rush to start the year. If you have the money to spend up on Henry, he could replicate exactly what he's done all season long, and he could be a major, major piece on a tournament-winning lineup for Sunday. Again, the value running backs, they rest in the hands of, starters being ruled out like Jonathan Taylor or the Steelers situation. There could be other things going on, but I like Derrick Henry to spend up on if you have the money. Jordan Mason doesn't look bad either against the Cardinals, and Kyron Williams has a high rushing yard projection as well. But I do like Derrick Henry the most out of the bunch. For my Guru credit code, go to my website, fd-guru.com. You have to be signed into your account. It's free to register an account, no credit card required. You need to be signed in for this code to work so these site-wide credits can go into your account. Most of you already know this, but there are some new people who come in week to week. Type in this code, all caps, week 5 NFL 24. All caps, week 5, NFL 24. Hit apply coupon. You will see it say coupon successfully applied as shown here. And 20 free credits will go into your balance after a couple of seconds. The page will reload itself. Again, all I ask is you like this video. It's free. All of this support stuff is free. Just takes a little bit of your time to hit the like button, subscribe, put my alerts on. Helps me out, and I hope to think that I'm helping you out as well with all this information. We have NBA season coming up in a couple weeks, and those videos are huge. NBA is usually the biggest sport for me because people need the help. I have early bird FanDuel and DraftKings passes available now, as I just made my website live for the NBA passes, so DM me about that. You can save a lot of money. It's a long season. You get a bunch of lineups. It is a steal for the amount of work that I put in. I put in more work than any other sport with the NBA season because of injury news. It takes a lot of time and hard work. So I can help you out. Message me. And for wide receiver, we're going to look at a cheaper play here now that I've gone, high at running back. We're going to go to 6,200 or 6,100. 6,200, Amari Cooper. This play looks even better if you were to pick Deshaun Watson, but Amari Cooper is safer in general against this Commanders defense. He is a great price at 6,200. And if you saw last week against the Raiders, he had a 75-yard touchdown called back late in the fourth quarter due to a hold, and it was not a hold. And if it was a soft-ass call because I always say in the NFL, if you really want to call holding, you can basically call it on 90% of the plays. And that was a soft call. Cooper easily could have had 5 catches for over 100 yards and a touchdown last week. I expect Deshaun Watson to go to him again here. They will be down in this game most likely. This Commanders secondary has looked pretty bad over the first 4 games of the season. Cooper is too cheap as the number 1 receiver. Yes, we do have Jerry Jeudy here on the Browns too, but Cooper is still the number 1 option. He might get up on the trade block sooner than later. So I would like to think Cooper wants to do the best thing he can do to, increase his value for trades, because he is basically peaked out on his career, and he's probably not going to get a better deal with whatever his next deal is with a trade. So I like to think he's going to be going 110% from here on out, especially with his name being floated around in rumor talks. Great price, great matchup. I like him at 6,200. Tight end's been terrible all year, but I actually like the prices here for a couple of guys on Sunday. Brock Bowers, 6,300. Devontae Adams out again with a hamstring injury. That's more like I want to get the fuck out of Vegas and stop playing for the Raiders. As we see Devontae most likely missing again on Sunday, we're going to be looking towards guys like Brock Bowers, same guys as last week, and they disappointed, but we got to go back to them. It's a good matchup against the Broncos. Yes, it's a very low over-under of 36, but the usage that these guys have with no Devontae Adams is tough to pass up on. I had Jacoby Myers and Bowers and a lot of stuff last week, and they disappointed. Trey Tucker ended up being a great value play, rushing in a touchdown at only $4,800, but now he is as expensive as Jacoby Myers, so if you were to go this route, I would look at Jacoby Myers at the same price. But in terms of tight end, I like Brock Bowers. He's projected for 45 receiving yards, which is a lot for a tight end. The Broncos, one of the worst teams in the NFL, not only on defense in general, but against the pass as well. I like him at 6,300. He had a great first 2 weeks, and the last 2 weeks hasn't looked great. I do expect a bounce-back game. I think he's going to be heavily involved, and I think 6,300 is a really good price on him. If you didn't want to look the Raiders' way, another great tight end play is Dalton Kincaid. Great matchup at 6,100. He's projected a similar amount of yards as Brock Bowers for Sunday. Really like Kincaid. If you wanted to get crazy, you could do Bowers and Kincaid. You would have to just take up a flex spot. But I like Kincaid as well. This is a great matchup in the Dome at Houston. I think Josh Allen's going to get going with him. First 2 weeks, poor usage. The last 2 weeks have been a bit better to see, scoring in week 3 and then seeing 7 targets. His targets have gradually gone up through the first 4 games of this season. We all remember how great of a year he had last year. I really like this spot for Kincaid. He's a guy that could easily be 7,000 on a good day. And then for defense, that Miami Dolphins offense on Monday was so bad. That was, and this says a lot, that Titans and Dolphins game was maybe the worst wire-to-wire game to watch I've ever seen. I'm sure there's some worse games out there, but it's up there. It was so bad. That Tyler Huntley offense has looked did look terrible on Monday, and now they have a short week, having to play the Patriots on Sunday after just 4 or 5 days of rest. I like targeting this Dolphins offense and going to the Patriots defense. They're at home. They're at Gillette. They're only $4,100. They're favorites in this game, believe it or not. And this is tied for the lowest over/under on the week with the Raiders and Broncos. So I like this play. I like the Patriots at 4,100. I think it's a good value play at defense. That'll do it for this video, guys. Give it a like, subscribe. Ready for a big week 5. I'm getting good vibes here for Sunday. Until next time, I am the FD Guru. Peace.